Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another Chop Talk. I am your co-host, Undersea, right over here. It's the wonderful princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
Wonderful princess. You were just making fun of me for my selfie poses. It's a duck face princess today, apparently. You jerk.
What I do.
It is Monday. It is Monday here in Alberta. It is smoky as hell outside because, the province over is on fire again.
It's cleared up this afternoon, though. It's gotten a lot clearer this
It's
afternoon.
true. However, it has made the last couple days suck. So we've
Well,
been
yeah.
wanting to see some purple northern lights. Can't see that ish because it's overclouded. Overcasted. I don't know the
Purple,
words. How are you doing, my friend?
purple northern lights. I didn't know those existed. I thought they were like green and blue.
Ah, no, it's usually just green and like white.
Oh,
But
okay.
purple is very, very rare to see, and I have yet in my lifetime to see purple northern lights. Apparently, we had them, and I was too busy up late talking with my house guest to notice what was going on outside. How are you doing, my
Yeah,
friend?
I'm doing good. I just got back. I got a workout in this morning with Rich because now we're working out every Monday with my new work schedule. And boy, do I hurt! I hurt. I hurt.
It's a
But it
good
hurts.
hurt.
But it hurts so good.
Hurt so good.
Come on, baby,
Come on,
baby,
baby,
hurt
make it hurt so
so
good.
good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. Hurt so
So
good.
good. It's always karaoke time with Andre and Melball. If you ever get stuck in a car with us, we feel
Or if
sorry
you're
for you.
hanging out with me and Kat, it's a dance party.
If you're hanging out with all three of us, Lord help you.
Oh, then you're screwed. Just like Andreas, he's screwed every time.
Poor guy. We wonder why we need to always send him on side quests.
Yet we keep expanding the horde and bringing people in, and we just keep making their lives worse. I guess.
It's what a Melball does at least. Let's get into the
Oh,
show, man. This was a great show.
yes, we're here to talk some top talent wrestling from May 10th. But before we do that, we want to thank each and every one of you guys. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in here on the YouTubes, whether it's Andre Melville Wrestling Talk, whether it's Backbreaker Review. Thank you so much for showing up. Uh, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget us to share us out to your friends, family, all those crazy little weirdos that keep painting on the side of buildings. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello, I'm going to paint your building. And don't forget,
Wow.
you can hear Chop Talk or not Chop Talk, NJPW Poodle Wrestler Review and Stardom Review and the brand new Dream Review Marigold on Sunday Night's Main Event in audio form at sundaynightsmainevent.com or patreon.com/SNME radio for only $4 American per month if you want to support them. But we are going to get into it. We're going to talk some top talent wrestling, and we kick it off. Ooh, I got to bring my notes up. I don't have my notes ready. Hey, I'm bad at my job as usual. You kicked it off.
One day we're gonna fire you, man.
You would never fire me. You can't fire me. I produced this.
Pretty much. You do everything behind the scenes. I just show up looking pretty.
And then do the socials for us.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kicked it off with Tommy Billington versus Mo Jabari, soon to be AEW superstar Tommy Billington. I guess already since recorded, he was on the Saturday Night Collision in a
Mhm,
featured match against Dax Harwood, the bald one
mhm.
from FTR. Just so you're aware which one I'm talking about.
Beardo and Baldy. It's the Baldy.
Baldy, yes. And hell of a match there. But kicked it off
Mhm,
tonight. A hell of a match here. Like, man, the chemistry between Tommy and Mo was
mhm,
absolutely incredible. Like, just
mhm.
Yeah, just see
You
the
remember how last month, Mo opened up the show with TY, and they definitely had a bit of a chemistry issue there. It was the opposite with Tommy and Mo. It's like they knew each other very, very, very well. I don't know, is Tommy wrestling out of Dungeon down in Calgary?
I'm not sure. He probably has. So I'm not sure though. I know he's traveling around wrestling for a
Disappointed
bunch
that
of.
these 2 didn't have a great match because I know he at that Tommy has showed up on the Dungeon wrestling shows, but also, like, just in general, he's been so, so good, making leaps and bounds with his training. It would be surprising if he wasn't training with Dungeon on a regular basis.
Yeah, yeah, just an incredible match. Tommy has these just sick drop kicks, like
Oof, yeah.
just the pop and kick on them looks so good.
Mhm.
Those release Germans that he hits, just cross training one. Then he hits the second, they're like two, and they're all getting ready for three, and then he goes into another move, and the crowd, you can see the crowd go, "Oh!" Like they wanted the third German. I was like, Mo reversing the tombstone hits his own, just spiking Tommy, but can only get
Mhm.
two. It looks sick, man. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
Tommy coming back, taking Mo's head off with a lariat, hits his own tombstone for two. There's this great spot where they're running at each other and they hit that running double cross to each other in the center of the ring, and just, but how fast they're moving, and just bang, and it was so good.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, we saw another one of those later in the night with, like, 2 completely different style of athletes, and it was
What was in the next
just as
match?
impact yeah, I wasn't gonna just come on, man, you're throwing my train of thought off. These 2 hit like a freaking speeding car wreck. The other 2 were very, again, as I mentioned, different styling. We'll talk about it when we get there. But
Hmm.
yeah, these 2 so quick. Because of that quickness, it just looked crazy impactful. Continue.
Yeah, so in the end, though, Mo reverses a sunset flip attempt, and he gets Tommy into the sharpshooter and gets the submission win, which I was really surprised. I thought Tommy
Mhm.
would be the one to come out the winner here. I really did. But these two had an absolutely incredible match.
Yeah, I also thought it would be smarter, especially with him going into the AEW match to come out with a win, because like, as much as I wanted to hype it up, we knew that Dax, you know. Anyway, um, a few things to just add. The purple on Tommy, he's my favorite. I might be partial to the color, but that's just that color seemed to look really, really good on him.
Mm,
He had a different kind of tan going on. It just mixed, aesthetically speaking, just mixed so nicely. Um, Something that I really like that Tommy does that I feel is kind of like a British strong style or even like a just strong style in general, because we do see some NGPW guys do this, but not a lot. When he's doing a suplex, typically there's a point in time where you let go of the trunks and just carry over and kind of think, not Tommy. Nay, nay, he is full like that's a snap. It's almost like that snap that Kenny Omega gets on his Snapdragon suplex. Tommy does that kind of snap on every suplex that he does. And it looks so good because it comes off that much more aggressive looking than if he just did a regular kind of suplex like everyone else does. So I like how he sets himself apart. Again, I also like how we've been mentioning every time we see him, he's getting better and better and better at interacting with the crowd and getting a crowd reaction. And this was just a continuation of that build. We saw like Mo was usually pretty like outgoing and all that, and he has been here. We saw that with TY, but he kinda took a little bit more of a step back to Tommy in this one, which I think ended up working out really, really good for their chemistry. Banger to open up the show with. Like,
yeah.
so, so solid, so good. And then to see Tommy pop up on AEW, did you catch him, like, smirking and stuff coming in on his intro? Just taking in the moment.
Like,
It was so nice.
kept it very composed, but you could see the little smirks, just those little ones.
Yeah.
Wasn't like he was like playing to the crowd. He was keeping his
No,
little
he was
face,
in
but
character, yeah.
he would hear something and you see him go with that
You'd
little.
see him smirk.
You
He was
see that
taking
little.
in the moment. He's living through it. I loved it.
You saw those little smirks from me. It wasn't those big like I'm grinning from ear to ear. Like it was like, especially coming from that face right there, it's very, yeah. But
Uh-huh. What is wrong with your face? Jeepers. Yeah, yeah, this was a great way to open the show. Really, really
yeah,
good match, especially for me, a bit of a redemption match for Mo. Because again, as I mentioned, the match with TY was only okay last time, and we know that both TY and Mo are capable of so much more. So this was a nice step up for the both of them.
yeah. So we move on to the king of the triple threats matches, Dalton Rogue defending against Andy Anderson and Rayden the Destroyer. I thought really good match here. Dalton just getting his ass beat for the first few minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, just getting tossed around by Andy and Rayden, with Andy kind of the leader throughout this early part.
yeah.
Dalton does do the Osprey backflip over Rayden into the powerbomb position, but
Oh,
doesn't
so
get it.
fun.
Um, and then he avoids Rayden a couple more times, but Rayden then takes his head off with a lariat. Just was
Yeah.
ripping his head off.
He was inside
Um,
out and back again on that one. Holy hell.
so there was 4 guys just to the right of us where we were sitting.
Oh, I love them.
They had signs. They each had a sign which had for it was like an A and an S on one, and then like words on 2 letters on each one, and it would say Andy sucks. And
Yes.
he literally gets up and it's like yells at them, "I'll shove my hand up your ass and work you like a puppet." I was just like, I loved it so much.
Healiest heel who's ever healed in the history of healing in the history of Alberta
Yeah,
is Andy Anderson.
2 straight nights of perfect heel work from Mr. Andy Anderson.
Yes.
Dalton hits a huge cutter to Andy off the ropes, but Rayden picks him up out of the pin, just grabs him, lifts
Would it
him
be
up.
an Oz cutter or would it be a rogue cutter?
It's an Os cutter. It's an Os cutter
It's a rogue
performed by a
cutter.
rogue. It was an Os cutter performed by a rogue, and he just grabs him, just gut wrenches him up on his shoulder, and dominators the shit out of him. Rayden does it to Rogue. Yeah, that was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. Rayden lariats Andy out at one point because it kind of breaks down Rayden and Andy because Rayden goes for a pin on Rogue, but Andy's very not happy about it, and they end up fighting each other. Rayden lariats Andy out of the ring at one point. Dalton drop kicks him to the floor, and he gets this awesome tope con hilo over the top.
Mhm.
Just looked phenomenal. Nope, I didn't see
Yes.
anybody fall in the holes tonight. So,
There was a slippage into the hole in the women's match.
oh, she almost went in, but she didn't quite go in, right?
She didn't fall in the hole, but she slipped sort of into it and caught herself on the bar.
Yeah. Oh, Aminata, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just because she wasn't used to it.
I
Um,
mean, yeah.
back so back Rogan's Raiden back in the ring. He goes up top, hits a double stomp to the back, and then he deadlift power bombs Raiden, who is legitimately 2 times his size, up. Not just like part way and drops him. He gets him fully all the way up and then sits down with the power bomb. Like,
Mhm.
holy crap, this kid is strong, man. That was
Yes.
insanity. Yeah, Andy cuts Dalton off up top, but Raiden ends up pulling Andy off and hits him with a power bomb. Raiden climbs up, but Dalton kicks him off, but he misses a 450. Um, Raiden spears Andy.
Oh,
Dalton
yeah,
kicks
that looked really bad too. Cause didn't he over-rotate and smash his
like
face?
boom, face off the mat. That looked
Yeah.
crazy.
Ugh.
So in the end, Raiden spears Andy. Dalton kicks Raiden in the corner. Then he hits a top rope double stomp for the win. And
Mhm.
by God, was this a great match?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a really solid match. And like, I do kind of like I rag on Raiden a little bit. This is the
Hmm.
best we've seen him, for me personally. And I think it had a great deal to do with the first part of the match. He was just kind of following orders from Andy. Andy
Hmm.
was definitely more the general in this one, making sure everything kind of went where and how it was supposed to.
Hmm.
Um, I I would have liked to see like, something that these guys gotta keep in mind, some of these people are coming to these shows for the first time not knowing what's going on, and there isn't exactly a whole lot of follow-through happening show to show.
Mhm.
So, some people in the next match probably would be, like, confused as to why the big lumbering guy is back out again. I would have liked to see Payten, even if she wasn't functionally doing anything except for just geeking around the ring and playing with balloon art. I would have liked to see her in Rayden's corner so that, again, if people didn't know that there was a connection, they'd be a little confused during the Payton's Playhouse match. So, like, I would like to see something a little bit more built on between Rayden and Payten if they are thing.
Yeah.
That being said, Andy, I mean, what do you say about Andy Anderson? Oh, that we haven't already said. He's just one of the best heels. He knows how to make a crowd hate him, and he knows how to, in those moments, also simultaneously make the crowd love his opponents without them having to do anything. It's phenomenal. But Dalton Rowe, holy shit. Yeah, he got his ass beat for the first part of this match, but boy howdy did he come back in the last half of it, just obliterate these guys. That power bomb on freaking Rayden was just so good. Yeah. I'm happy to see him retain because I was really concerned with him going into this. Like, you outgunned, bro. What are you gonna do? Huh?
Mhm.
He rope timed them, which is a
Rope
great
time.
song.
That is a great song. I remember a
Hmm.
guy rapped it for him live at the show at an RCW show once.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was the actual guy, but the guy did a great job rapping it, so it was
I
really
mean, I
good.
hope so. I hope it was the
Yeah,
same original person. That's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
Do that again.
yeah. I agree. Yeah. So we move on to what? So Ivan's in the ring, and then two creepy dudes with clown masks on come out, and it was like it's not like they're wearing face paint, but like they're wearing these like hard white clown masks, like have
Yeah.
clown painting on them, and I'm like, this is creepy. And they put like a balloon on each of the ring posts, and
That
then they
had
just
Peyton's Playhouse on
yeah,
it. It
and
was
then
really
they
cool.
just
I
and
liked
then
it.
they
That was a
just,
cute touch.
and then they each stand on either side of Ivan, and Ivan you could see is like and then one guy says something, he's like steps forward to get away from them. He's like, "Well, that was way too close to me." But and then he said, "But I was explaining the rules of this match." Like, the guy got like right beside it. It was like creep. It was very creepy.
Well, I mean, regular Friday night for this girl some days, depending on where she is.
So we get a Payton's Playhouse match where it's an all out anything goes hardcore match. Like it's pretty much just beat the crap at each other. Use whatever you want. There's no disqualification, no countouts, nothing like that.
Hmm.
So it's Payten Pryce versus Kat Von Heens versus Quinn Hawksley versus Rylie Rose.
Yeah.
So it all starts out. Payton at one point goes out and gets these like the balloons you use to like make balloon animals out of, and she makes like almost like you. I think you or Kat said those cuffs, and then she grabs Kat around the throat with it. It was she actually made a Togo garrote out of it.
I mean, which would be pretty much the same thing. And can't
I
help a girl
laughed.
for getting excited.
I laughed. I thought it was funny. She actually made a garrote out of it.
I mean, yeah, and it was function. It was so fun. It
Yeah, it
made
was.
sense in the match.
Yeah. Kat at one point sets up a door on the green and the purple steel chairs. She puts
Yeah.
Rylie up top, goes for the superplex, but Rylie slips out, and Quinn ends up power bombing. Quinn comes up, power bomb Kat's off the top through the door, like just
Brutal.
yeah. Quinn actually puts a helmet on at one point and starts
Mhm.
headbutting everyone, and then hits a
She
diving.
ESP'd everybody.
And then the best part is she set up the green chair, stood up on the green chair, so he's like a foot and a half off the mat, and hits a flying headbutt to Rylie on the mat. It was so good.
Yes.
And then
I
and
loved
then
it.
and then Kat spears the shit out of Quinn, and their helmet goes flying off. It was so good.
I don't know quite for sure, but I thought it went in the hole by us.
Oh, I think it did because I didn't see it again. It went flying out of the ring, so I think it probably fell into the
Yeah.
hole. Oh, something fell in the hole.
It wasn't a person.
So Rylie grabs a chair, puts it in front of her, and hits Payten or hits Payten with the MX or the code breaker with the chair between them, and then she follows up. Then after that, she set up the chair, picked up Quinn, and Death Valley driver Quinn through the open setup chair. I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that looked brutal. Oof.
yeah. Later in the match, Payten goes moonsaults off the top onto Rylie on a table, but the table didn't break, and you're like, "Oh God, that must have hurt so much more." Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. Ugh,
yeah. At one
ouchies.
point, Kat ended up just like punching Rylie in the face and picked her up, and power bombed her through the table to break it. But yeah, uh,
I mean, you gotta improvise sometimes, right?
we get the appearance of Rayden comes out, bringing out a door covered in balloons. Um, he ends up chokes like setting it up like a table and choke slams Kat through it.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, uh, so Quinn comes back into the ring at one point with Rayden in there, and she has some darts, and she throws
Yeah.
darts at the back of Rayden, and I'm like, oh, so no, sorry, he put her through something else. He had chokeslam Kat. Oh no, he chokeslam Kat through another. His Kat had chokeslam or powerbomb Rylie through another table, a door table that she had made, and then Rayden
Mhm.
chokeslammed Kat through the actual table that didn't
Oh,
break.
yeah.
And so as Rayden tries to chokeslam Rylie and Quinn, Kat comes back spearing Rayden through the balloon door thing that he had set
Mhm,
up in the corner.
mhm, and that was after Quinn had tossed the darts
Yeah, I was just
into
like,
his back. But,
and I
like,
somebody said
took him
one was
like a
hanging out of his
champ.
back. What somebody said one was
Yeah.
like stuck in his back, and I'm like,
Well, obviously, they're darts. I mean, like, where else are they gonna go? In and out or stay in?
well, a couple
I
bounced
can tell
off,
you this
but
much, it gave me, like, flashbacks of, like, my stupid adolescency and putting a dart into the ceiling and then having said dart fall on me while I was looking at that, like, "Oh, imagine that." Um, but again, this is what I meant in the last match. If we didn't know from other shows that Rayden and Payten were a thing, people would be a little confused as to why Rayden was coming out to help Pete. So that's something I would like to see kind of built upon in
yeah.
this. The noise also, just to say, the noise that it made when Cat speared Rayden through that door was just so crazy cool.
Well,
It
all the
was so cool.
well, it was all the balloons popping that he was hitting, plus the door crushing. So it worked
Yeah.
so well. So in the end, Payten grabs Rylie, misses her in the face, and choke
Mhm.
slams her and gets the win. Again,
Blue Mist.
yeah, Blue Mist. But again, I thought a really fun hardcore match where
Yeah.
nobody bled, so it was a good time. Maybe Raiden's back was a little bloody after the darts, but it wasn't. Like,
We
I
don't
didn't
see it.
notice. Yeah,
I mean, how would we? This was a very fun match. Like, something that I've noticed this year, for locally at least, and kind of internationally, because we've been seeing a few matches in NJBW, and I watched that one in Noah the other day. All hardcore matches, and all no excessive gratuitous blood. It's been well done. The setups have been phenomenal. I felt this was a great match for these ladies to have a nice little showcase. Um, I am really loving how they are doing that also, having all the girls in one match and kind of showing off their stuff and showing how freaking badass these women are. I mean, they were going through things, having things thrown at them, being hit by chairs, having Quinn headbutt them with a freaking helmet. Those helmets are freaking crazy. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was a great showcase for these ladies. Again, the only thing I'd want to say is that build on the backstory between Payten and Rayden, and like let's see a feud. There was something kind of started and then kind of just dropped with Rylie and Kat. I'd like to see that expanded upon again. Like get something else going. Give these girls a reason to cut promos in between the shows to get excited for their stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
this was a great match. Great match.
Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna move on to a singles match. It's Christian Starr versus Weston King and Gussy Jones. Everybody
Yes.
loves Gussy. Yeah.
Everybody loves Gussy. It's like
Uh,
Kayla J.
so Starr said at one point sends Weston to the floor, and he does a suicide dive onto him, but he's kind of caught and he gets swung around, and then he flips over him on the floor and like brings him down into a pile driver on the floor in like this just really smooth sequence. I think you shared it. It
Yeah,
was shared online yesterday, or I saw it again.
probably.
It looks so smooth. The way like he got
Yeah.
brought down, and he flipped up, and then just brought him down into it. Wasn't like a flip pile driver. He jumped on his back and then pulled back to hit like a normal pile driver. It looked great.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Star's fighting off King up top, and then Gussy hits him with the crutch, and Weston grabs him and slams him off the top for 2. Looked really good. King at one point in the match gets a full Nelson slam on the apron. Yeah, and Starr later in the match gets an Os cutter out of the corner, but he can only get 2, or the Starr cutter, whatever you want to call it, or the Christian cutter,
Hey,
whatever you
if
want to
it's
call it.
not the rope cutter, it's still an Oz cutter.
Yeah, it's a Os cutter. Starr hitting a snap dragon, which looked great. Then as he's going for a dive, he gets caught and smashed with a huge spine buster by Weston King. Looks so
Yes.
good.
Love those spine busters.
Starr ends up reversing a power bomb into a pedigree for 2. Just
Oh yeah.
these guys are doing everything in this. Um,
Mhm.
King catches Starr coming back in, pile drives the living piss out of him, but only gets 2. King misses a moonsault. Starr hits the Shining Wizard, Kaito Kiyomiya style, but he only gets 2. He goes for the Phoenix Splash, but and hits it, but then Gussy, and it's over. But Gussy pulls the ref out, and you're like,
Mhm.
no. So
And that's some smart managing. That's why he pays Gussie the big dollars to be at ringside, is to be functional.
you think anybody's paying? You know, Gussy's paying the King to be his manager. Come on, we all know that.
Sure, 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 sure,
He's paying King to help get him exposure so that he can get other people to pay him.
sure, 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 sure.
It's all about the King. But so Christian was distracted, and he turns around, he gets hit with the black hole slam, and then that full Nelson slam for the win by Weston King. Again, I thought, again, another just awesome match on this card.
Yeah.
Like it just kept going and going, man.
I think, wasn't it like just like year and a half, 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago that we saw these guys getting their certificates?
Well, we saw Weston get a certificate, and then Christian only graduated like a year ago. Remember, he only popped on
Yeah,
like about a year into Top
recently.
Talent existing, so he's only been around about a year now. So yeah, like
Yeah, there
it's
you go.
yeah.
So crazy, these two guys. So good. So I mentioned yesterday on the Chop Talk how that match with Andy and Kamikaze, where they were just so involved in getting the crowd behind them. With Andy, mouth into the crowd, Kamikaze getting the crowd going. They were very interactive actively with the crowd. This was the match that I mentioned was very passively interactive because those 4 guys that you had mentioned that had the Andy Suck sign, they were Weston King and Gussie fans, and they were freaking loud. They were deafening the Christian Star fans because Christian Star was very much the person over in this match. The whole crowd was cheering for him. Pretty sure his family was sitting in front of us. But those 4 guys were just going, going, going at the slightest thing with Weston. It was so great. Gussie and Weston had to do so little to get people like them or us. I was fired up. You think you were cheering for Starr in this one?
Oh, 100% I was.
And you call yourself a King fan.
I think the King's great, but Christian Starr, he is the star, man. He is the star.
And Weston's the king.
Yeah, but he's the star. Stars in outer space. Kings are on Earth. You got to respect those who are in outer space.
Technically, a star is a sun, my guy.
Yeah, and he burns bright like the sun, so he's brighter than a king.
Oh, that's a diamond. Come on now. Get with your pop culture. Back to the match, though. I loved how Gussy was getting involved, helping out his boy, you know, attacking Christian Starr, getting the ref's attention, pulling the ref out. These are all things that an accomplished, intelligent manager is going to do for their person. We've seen the same thing with Thaddeus Archer. You might not like it, but we've seen the same thing with Van Uman, especially when the Rads are healed. That's functional things the managers are going to do to help their people out. And I think Gussy is a refreshing breath of fresh air in what has felt like a very long time in Alberta that we've had a consistent manager, because Thaddeus kind of comes and goes. The same with Ben. He kind of comes and goes. Now he's roughing because he can't manage anymore because of Thaddeus. But like, besides Bronwyn, who's predominantly in Calgary, who else do we really have, and who else do we really want to see managing in this area? Gussy really does make things interesting. We got his card. Maybe we have to get him on Andre Melball to get us a little bit more interest.
Yeah, maybe he can start managing us and get us big in the podcast game.
Yes. But this was a great, 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 great match. Great showcase match for both these guys. I'm very curious to see where both of them go from here, because we were seeing Azrael kind of coming after Weston for a while there. Azrael's not been coming around so much. So I wonder if we're going to see Weston start feuding with Starr. Maybe Starr wants to try to get back a win on him. I'm interested. I'm very interested to see where both these guys go.
I'd like to see King go after that King of the Triple Threats because he was in the initial match to crown. So I'd like to see him get back into that and see if he can take a shot at taking that title too. So
yeah, with the speed of Dalton Rogue, I think that would be a great way to kind of start that off. Yeah.
maybe
Would you put Starr in there?
No, I would do Dalton versus Weston versus Gussy.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think Gussy would be too fond of that.
Like he gives us, and if he wins, Weston gets the title. Come on,
it's a Freebird rule.
It all works out well for Weston King in the end,
I'd maybe like to see TY in there, but okay.
Yeah. We move on to the Top Talent Championship match. Mitch Clarke defending his championship against Big Jesse Youngblood, Gabriel Lestat, and Bobby Sharp. I'll admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of this match. It was fine. I don't feel like it ever really kicked into that other gear for me personally. Like, it wasn't bad. I just felt like something never really clicked for me in this one, personally. It's just pure chaos. Everyone brawling at early on. Mitch gets a tiger bomb at one point to Gabriel for 2. Jesse went to the top and went for a dive, and him slipping and falling. He looked pretty goddamn rough. I hope he seemed to be okay after, because he got up and kept going. He gets a spear to Gabriel for 2. Towards the end of the match, Bobby hits a frog splash to Gabriel, but then Jesse ends up power bobbing Bobby onto Gabriel and then gets a 2 count on Bobby. At the end of the match, though, Gabriel hits the Destino to Jesse, but then Mitch tosses him out, hits that Death Valley driver roll to Jesse for the win. I thought like it was a good match. I don't know. It never really captured me. I don't know what. Maybe after I don't know. I just don't know what it was on this one. Yeah.
It's interesting.
And then, I was going to say, do you want me to get in the post match, or there was some post match action?
Sure. Go for it.
Yeah, Gabriel attacks Mitch after the match. They're brawling. Security breaks him up. Mitch starts like there's like all these security, and one of them's this kind of smaller girl. He just lifts her and just throws her. Like just literally lift and throw, and then he starts lifting and throwing all the rest of security that's trying to stop him. But it was just funny that she was the first one he grabbed, and he just hucked her, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Wait, who hucked who? Was that Mitch or was that Owen?
No, Mitch hucked
Oh,
this tiny little security girl. I was laughing so hard
I
at it.
mean, love of my life can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. He starts tossing the other guys around. Gabriel starts throwing security around. They start brawling more. They get pulled apart again. Mitch gets pulled to the floor as security pulls him out, and Gabriel just dives onto the pile of security as Mitch gets away. And Gabriel gets the mic, calls out Mitch for a rematch at the next show on June 7th. So we're getting Gabriel versus Mitch Clarke on Mitch 7th is looking like to at the Top Talent second anniversary show.
It's very unfortunate that it sounds like the post match was actually more interesting than the actual match.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll admit I liked the post match more because it's just Mitch throwing security around, Gabriel tossing security around, they're brawling. It felt like so much intensity there, which I didn't really
hmm,
get out of the actual match.
hmm.
Yeah, it's
Which
weird.
is weird considering Bobby Sharp is such a great character and he's very much can function and focus even more highly when he's in the ring with people who are charismatic or on that same charisma level of him. We know Jesse is over the top, so that kind of reaches the tank for him. And Mitch Clarke and Owen both have their times to be spunky dunky. It's odd to me that the match didn't catch steam. Like this was my smoke break. Girl needed it after being in there for quite some time. Um, and yeah, the feedback that I'd heard about this match was that it was only okay and
Yeah.
that the post was more interesting than the actual match. Um, I wonder what they missed here.
I really am not sure. Yeah,
Mm,
I'm not sure. But we move on to what was my match of the night. ROH superstar Queen Aminata versus Ava Lawless. The Hellion Ava Lawless. I fucking love this. Like I was when Aminata was announced for this show, I was super excited because I've been watching her on ROH,
mm,
watch her work through that ROH Women's Television Title Tournament. She was in the finals, lost to Billy Starks. I got to meet her before the show. She was super awesome. We actually got to chat for a few minutes, and we were talking. I was telling like I was so disappointed when she lost the title. Super nice. We were just chatting. I didn't realize it was her birthday, or I would have wished her a happy birthday at the table, but I didn't realize it until you guys told me when I got back to my seats, and I'm like, shit.
mm.
So we did get a
Well, we got
happy.
to say happy birthday before it. We get the
Yeah, we
during the
did.
match.
So before the match, we got a happy birthday queen chant going. There's a spot where right at the start, she gets Ava down and she gets her traps the arm in a leg and just starts shaking her ass in Ava's face. I'm like, I laughed at that one. At one point in the match, she gets the full Nelson, but the leg trap full Nelson, where it's the legs. Like Naito does a similar one where he's got it from the side. She's kind of sitting behind the person and grabs the arms around the legs around the arms to hold it like almost like a full Nelson.
Oh, right, the one that he forgets how to unlock.
Yeah,
The ref has to unlock it for him, yes.
yeah, and then she transitions into a choke, but Ava does get to the ropes. Just a boot to the face. Then that running like my Sakurai looking kick where she runs and hits that like shin kick to the face, but it's against
Mm,
Ava who's against the bottom rope. It looked really good. So where Ava kind of
mhm,
starts like hangs back to the ropes and Aminata pulls her out and like hangs her in the ropes by her legs, like over the apron on the outside, and it hits up like the upside down super kick to her. It
mhm,
looked really good.
mhm,
Back in the ring, Ava gets a Death Valley. She fights back. She gets a death. They go into this crazy set of pinfalls back and forth, and then Ava gets a Death Valley driver and the twist of fate for two. She does that rope flip swanton that she does, but she can only get 2. Aminata dodges the spear, hits a super kick, then the backstabber, but Ava gets her hand under the bottom rope on the pin. Aminata gets a hip attack in the corner, and then another. She goes through, literally hits a hip attack going through the bottom 2 ropes. I was like, oh crap! It was really cool, and then she comes back and hits the air raid crash, but Ava kicks out at 2.9. Aminata ties up her hair. They get into this forearm trading spot and chop trading. Aminata hits like the double chops to the chest repeatedly, but then she goes for the run, and as she's coming back, Ava just hauls off and slaps her across the face, stunning her. She responds by grabbing Ava, just smashing her with a hard headbutt, dropping her for the 1, the 2, and the 3, and Queen Aminata gets the victory. And I love this match. Again, I'm insanely biased because I'm a big Queen Aminata fan. I'm a big Ava Lawless fan. This match was absolutely fantastic. Got to talk to them both after the show, saying this was my match of the night. Easy.
It was a great match. It wasn't my match of the night, but it was a very, very great match. Something that I'm used to seeing out of Aminata is it's definitely a higher kind of speed match. She did perfectly to kind of bring it down to a different kind of speed. We had these nice little breaks in between where we had that strike off or where someone was hung up. I really, really liked the flow overall of this match. And this was the first time since I think last Top Talent show that I'd seen Ava Lawless. She doesn't really come up with the RCW shows too much to Edmonton anymore. She just kind of works the Calgary ones, which is, disappointing, but she's killing it in Winnipeg also. So we can't be too mad about that. Yeah, the outfit Aminata was wearing was so cool. I love her gear. She's just so stylish, strappy straps. I might be a little biased. It reminds me of Stardom, so it warms my heart. But yeah, the difference in styles with these women just ended up mixing so perfectly and turning into this just beautiful showcase for both of these ladies. Very, very proud of both of them and very, very good match.
Yeah, and then there was another happy birthday chant after. She starts twerking to the chant after chanting happy birthday. She starts twerking. Then she picks Ava up, raises her hand, shakes her hand, and then raises her arm. She did the code of honor. She gave her the code of honor. But she's doing it already. To
She
shake hands
did.
before and after the match. So
Yes,
we move
yes.
on to the main event. It's Harlon Abbott taking on the current TNA X Division Champion, the undefeated Mustafa Ali. Great back and forth early. Ali does the Tam Nakano Natsupoi Azumi, like just rise up out of the pin, like slide
A
out
bridge out, yeah.
that bridge out. Oh, looks so good. Looks so good.
Yes. I
Um,
loved it. I love to see guys start doing it a lot more. Because like we see a lot of women doing it knowing that we have a bit better of a flexibility in that than most guys do. But I'm liking that I'm starting to see more dudes start doing it because it shows off their flexibility as well. And I think he did it like 2 or 3 times in
I
this match, didn't he? Or am I confusing Resurgence?
I think you're adding Resurgence into your head because he did it at
Yeah,
Resurgence too. Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, continue.
yeah.
Continue.
Harlan gets this great like spiking DDT where Ali just went board was up like a board on the DDT and he gets a 2 count out of it. Look,
Yeah.
yeah. Later in the match, Ali gets the double knees to a standing Harlan in the corner. He puts Harlan up top, but gets pushed off. But as Harlan dives out, Ali just jumps up in the air and drop kicks him out of the air, looks so good. He hits this like flying tornado DDT off the second rope, dove off the second into a tornado DDT. But he ends up missing the 450, and this is where Harlan picks him up, sky high spine buster for 2, or what looked like a sky high spine buster for 2. They're trading strikes. They're reversing each other. Ali gets the sharpshooter, but then Harlan like pulls the hair of Ali to pull him down, like pull him out of the sharpshooter,
Mhm.
and then picks him up, hits that last ride power bomb for 2. And actually, we saw that same reversal the next night at Resurgence. They did the same reversal with Leo Rush, which was
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
goddamn cool. Ali hits a super kick, but then Harlon, as Lee goes for a dive, Harlon super kicks Ali and gets 2. Harlon puts Ali up top for the avalanche, like his avalanche, like healing driver, whatever you want to call it, the double underhook pile driver that he hits. But
Mm.
Ali fights him off. They brawl. Ali does like a flip off the top, attacking him, and then does that pull back up, like when he's in the corner, then pulls himself back up onto the top. 450 splash for the win. And then post match, he was leaving, and this little kid said to him, "I'm glad I get to see someone that looks like me." And so he brought the kid back into the ring with him, and it was just the cutest. He cut a promo about like you be whatever you want to be and everything. It was just beautiful, like a beautiful
Mhm.
thing. A little tag up at the end.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm. Very, very sweet. Very, very nice. I just it baffles me how fumbled he was in the
yeah,
WWE. It just, but one thing being a part of the wrestling community has taught me is you never know what the fizzity yuck is going on in the backstage area. Truly. So, that being said, um, this match was fracking insane. This was my match of the night. Just because from start to finish, it was just go, 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 go. Harlan might be a big guy. He goes hard and he goes fast. Keeping up with Mustafa Ali, no problem. And Mustafa Ali, I definitely would say, is one of those high speed cardio guys who will give you it's so much more. Yeah, I don't know what else to add to this. It was so good that Spinebuster that Harlan did. I mean, you know me at Spinebusters. It's such a simple but effective move, and it's so easy to do it wrong. Like, just make it look like crap. Oh, not Harlan. Harlan really makes those and his pile drivers look so, so good.
mhm.
But it was a privilege to see Ali live. And like I feel like I've seen him live once in the WWE. I might be mistaken in that.
I think I saw him like
I've seen a
on.
lot of wrestling.
I think I saw him on like one of those main event tapings at a WWE
Yeah,
event.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking
I think
too.
no,
Um,
that was that. I think that was last year's Raw that we went to.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have seen him once, but that it paled in comparison to this. This was incredible. And, it really makes me wholeheartedly say this. If you guys are wanting to spend money on the big shows, be willing to spend money on shows like this as well, local shows, because this is where you are going to get these banger matches that you wouldn't see on the bigger shows, probably because a little bit more politicking happening in the back. This show overall, man, was just so solid, so good. What is happening in Alberta right now where we went from this like kind of dry spell where we were kind of having like whack, 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 whack matches that were great and good and then horrible and awful. And we went from this like back and forthness like 2, 3 years ago to now this year. It's like something has lit a fire underneath all of these promoters' asses and we're getting these solid fracking shows every
Yeah,
single month. Like what a time to be a wrestling fan, man.
yeah. I think it was like 2022 when we saw Raw. When we saw him, 'cause, yeah, it was just. It was yeah. It was like September, October of 2022. I remember seeing him there. I remember.
I was probably there as well.
Yeah, you probably
Pretty
were. I
sure
don't
I
know
was a
if you
seat
were with.
filler.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think you were with us, but yeah, you
No,
were.
I was a seat
You were
filler
there.
that time, so I was down on the floor somewhere.
Yeah.
Yelling at Austin Theory.
Probably. Because Austin Theory sucks.
That's not what I was yelling at him.
Austin Theory sucks. Yeah. Austin Theory sucks. Yes, he does. Let me see. The main event. Yeah, Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali was on the main event tapings on that night. I just found it. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so we
yes,
did see that.
I did. We have seen him before, but we like that was like okay. We got to see. We saw. It was in a very
It
random
wasn't this
match.
version of Ali. It
It was him
wasn't
and
this incredible version that we got of him.
Yeah, it was him and Tozawa in 5 minutes. So yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I will take Harlan and Ali over that any day.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Tozawa is a great hand. He's a great professional wrestler. I watch a lot of his. I've seen his stuff from before from his Japan. But yeah, again, another guy who's gotten insanely shortchanged in the WWE. But
go figure.
Yeah.
Go figure. However,
we have
it
come
makes
to
them
the
the
end.
big dollar bills, right?
The big dollar bills. But we have come to the end of another episode of Chop Talk. I want to thank you all so very much for joining us here. You can find me on the X at that Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that Canada Dude. You find me on Facebook at Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk, or on just putting the comments right here on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. You can also find us all our stuff covering Japanese professional wrestling over at SundayNightMainEvent.com. Just grab the RSS feed from there, and you can hear all the shows we put out over there, plus all the great other shows that SNME Radio does. You can also, if you want to support them, $4 American per month at patreon.com/SNME Radio. You can find me over on the Twitch at twitch.tv/our local establishment. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/our local establishment. This coming Wednesday, 8 p.m. Mountain, 10 p.m. Eastern, X-Men 97. The final 3 episodes of season 1, Tolerance's Extinction, parts 1, 2, and 3. My heart was ripped out of my chest like something was ripped out of somebody else on part 2. So tune in to find out why I feel so emotional about this show, and I cannot wait for part 3 because it's probably going to tear my heart out even farther. Me and my wife old Ed, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern this Wednesday, live on Twitch and YouTube at our local establishment, also on Ed Fry's channel too. You can also find us simulcasted over on Backbreaker Video by Mike the Ref. Sharing out all of our stuff there week afterwards. If you want to see and he's also got his AW watch alongs there, but go to twitch.tv/Mike the Ref to see his watch alongs live on every Wednesday and Saturday and pay-per-view Sundays. You can also watch him play video games live there on Twitch almost every day of the week. You can check him out over there. So check him out, twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. And if you want replays of his great gaming content, you should go youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming, where you can sign stuff from him, Mr. PJC, Mr. Rick Jules right there. That little tiny thing you're seeing on the screen that's Rick Jules' sticker. And also their freaking guest, Miss Kayla J.
Kayla J. Kayla J. We love Kayla J here.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Melball. Yeah.
I was going to say, Melball, where can they find you?
Internet is failing us today. If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find her on our local establishment's programming, Japanese Wrestling Update, with this guy over here every Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, unless it's not. And then we will let you know on our socials if that is changing. We typically do live shows unless we are attending a show already, and then it'll be pre-recorded. I think this week is like one of the few weeks this month where we're going to be live.
So the next 2 weeks we're going to be live because we got no shows the next 2 weeks.
Well, we're going to hope the week after we can be live. Melball's going to be in Canada. She might have some issues.
I might have to get a special guest. Maybe it's Andre and somebody else's Japanese Wrestling Update.
Rude.
Well, if you can't do it, just saying.
Rude. Where was I going with this? If you're wanting to, oh, you can also find me on Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. Got an episode coming out very soon, talking all stuff women's wrestling, and we may have a special guest on there. So keep your ears to our socials to see when that is happening. If you're wanting to go to Top Talent Wrestling, you can go to their website, www.toptalentwrestling.com, where you can get tickets to their shows, updates on their roster, as well as get connections to the school if you yourself are wanting to become a professional wrestler, manager, or referee. I think that's it. Andre, my trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank y'all for joining us here on the channel whether it's Back for Your Video or on your Mobile Wrestling Talk. Thank you so much for showing up. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget to share us out to your friends, family, and weird little gremlins that happen to live in your basement dark corners. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Share it to the gremlins, but keep the gremlins to yourself. Melball doesn't need any more problems.
Well, you've probably got a bunch in your basement.
I have no idea. That being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time.